Hey, what is up, everybody? I am about to watch Smackdown right now, and I'm going to do my review of it the normal way I've been doing it lately, with watching some of it. When it goes to commercials, I'll record a small part of the video, and then I'll make it all big videos. Um, that's how it's going to be. I don't know why, but it seems like I always get a lot of homework on Wednesday. It's just really weird. It's always so I don't really know when SmackDown will come up. I don't even know if this is gonna come up before midnight tonight. I'm assuming it will, but I just wanted to point that out there. So SmackDown is gonna be a tough show to review. I still will get the review up, but SmackDown is gonna be a little bit difficult of a show to review. But before we get to that, let me watch a little bit of let me watch the whole show, and then when it goes to commercial, I will come back and talk about it. But let me just mention that this SmackDown is for February 12th, 2014. No, February 12th, 2015. 2015. Alright, so let's get right into it. Alright, so we have Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and Jared DeCanlotto on commentary. And the show starts off with all the tag teams backstage, except for Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. But they had The Miz and Damian Mizdow back there, Slater and Gator, which consists of Titus O'Neil and Heath Slater. Heath Slater returned on this show. I don't know where he's been, unless he's been wrestling on Main Event and Superstars. The Ascension, Connor and Victor. Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, the tag team champions. And, Lost Matadors, El Torito, Diego, and Fernando. I think that's it. But I could be wrong, and Golden Stardust weren't there either. And Corporate Kane and Big Show are backstage, and they announced that there's going to be a tag team turmoil match. And if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much like a gauntlet match, but with tag teams. 2 tag teams start in the ring, and then 2 tag teams face off, and then another team comes out, and this keeps happening until you beat all the teams. And normally it's luck of the draw who starts the match, but he makes Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan start the match. So you can see where this is going. They're trying to weaken Reigns and Bryan. And he talks about how Slater and Gator need to get back, need to do something unique. How the Ascension need to make a big name impact. Miz and Mizdow can get back in the tag title hunt, and then the Usos can prove that they're the best tag team in WWE. And then Big Show said that they need to see the fire. They want you to see him grab the bull by the horn. So of course El Torito gets pissed and goes to charge Big Show. And Corporate Kane tells all the tag teams to make an impact here tonight. So then they walk off. So you can see where this is going. I don't know if this match is for the titles. They didn't say. So I wonder if they're gonna announce that, make that clear. So then we get the first match on the show: Bray Wyatt versus R-Truth. Wasn't anything special. Bray Wyatt hits that wicked clothesline and the Sister Abigail for the win. I think R-Truth got a little bit too much offense in this match, because R-Truth's pretty much a jobber, and I think he shouldn't really got much offense in. But other than that, this was just kind of an average match. But SmackDown's just kind of been average so far. Alright, so the next match is Paige versus Summer Rae. And the Bella Twins were on commentary for this match. The Bella Twins is Nikki and Brie. The match was good, but the commentary was terrible, so they didn't really talk about the match, so you couldn't pay attention to the match. And they mainly cut to the Bella Twins, so you couldn't really pay attention to the match, which is a shame. Paige wins with the submission move, and then afterwards she has to stare down with the Bella Twins. That was it. Adam Rose versus Fandango again. Adam Rose doesn't do his trust fall thing again because he's afraid he won't get caught. I didn't watch the match because I didn't want to watch it last week, so I don't want to watch it this week. But Fandango wins. I don't know how, but he wins. And then afterwards, Adam Rose beats the crap out of his Rosebud again. This is going nowhere. This heel turn's done nothing for Adam Rose. It's a joke. Alright, so now we have the main event. Now, I don't know if this video is going to be uploaded before the end of the day, but it might be Friday, it might not be. When we get the main event, it's the Tag Team Turmoil match. To be honest with you, it went actually a really long time. So Bryan and Reigns start the match. And then The Miz and Damian Mizdow, they fight them first. Miz and Mizdow aren't getting along. Mizdow is hitting all the Miz's moves, and Miz makes them get out. Then eventually Reigns hits the Superman punch on Miz. Bryan hits the running knee on him, eliminates Miz and Mizdow, so they move on to the next team. And the next team is the Usos. That's cool. So what happens here is they just go at it. They went. Bryan and Reigns kept tagging each other in and out too throughout this match because they're not getting along. And the Usos are out, so they kept tagging each other in and out. For Bryan, they just they worked on Bryan's shoulder in the match. Reigns hits a big boot while one of the Usos is sitting down on the floor. Daniel Bryan hits the yes kicks and then drop kicks one of the Usos. I'm going to call him Jake. And then Roman Reigns did a suplex to the other Uso, or Jay Uso, whatever. And then Daniel Bryan did like a standing reverse suplex. And he's like, that's how you do a suplex. So that was cool. And they kept going outside the ring, and they were both of them, and they're like, what are you doing? And Roman Reigns wanted to fight them because they were his cousins. And at one point, Daniel Bryan was dominating one of the Usos, and then the other Uso almost gets a hot tag, and Daniel Bryan gets the butt in the corner splash move. Then one of the Usos tries to charge Bryan, but he goes shoulder first into the steel post, and Daniel Bryan just starts kicking away at him. He's just kicking at his shoulder, and Roman Reigns gets in his face, and he's like, "What are you?" And he's like, "Come on, man!" He's hurt. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Get him in the ring. You can't win out here. Get him in the ring." And he's like, "Don't you ever get in my face again." So Daniel Bryan just stays in the match, dominates Jake Uso, and Roman Reigns just has no interest of going in the match. And then the other Jimmy or Jey Uso gets the hot tag on Bryan, and then he tries to cover him off a super kick, but Roman Reigns pulls him off. No, the other Russo tagged himself and hit a crossbody. Then Roman Reigns pulls him off. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, this is the way it has to be. So then Jake Uso and Roman Reigns have a brawl. Jake Uso hits an Enzuigiri on Reigns. He goes for the splash, the Samoan splash in like the corner. Roman Reigns counters. Bryan hits a drop kick and in the corner. Reigns hits his apron drop kick he likes to hit. And then Jimmy or Jey Uso dived on Reigns. Bryan dives on Jimmy or Jey. He does a suicide dive. And then the other Uso, Jake Uso, tries to dive on Bryan, but Roman Reigns hits the Superman punch, and then Bryan hits the and then Jimmy and Jey Uso super kicks Reigns. Bryan gets rid of the other Uso, and then Jake Uso tries to hit the splash on Bryan, but then Bryan gets the knees up and gets him in the S-lock, and Jake Uso taps out, so the Bryan and Reigns advance to like the next phase of the Team Turmoil match, and they end up facing the Lost Matadors. Bryan kicks one of their asses, and Bryan gets him in the S-lock. One of the Matadors tap out. They had El Torito out there that didn't help at all. So then Roman Reigns just tags himself in, and then they face Slater and Gator. Roman Reigns just pretty much destroys him and hits the spear on Heath Slater. And then the Ascension come out. The Ascension just beat the crap out of them. They were just probably paid to just hurt. All they cared about was just hurting Reigns and Bryan. They throw Reigns over the announce table, throw Bryan over the timekeeper's area, throw him into the steel post, throw Reigns into the post, and hit the fallen man on Bryan. And they get disqualified. So then Big Show and Corporate Kane are like the last two in there. And they just beat the holy crap out of Daniel Bryan for the longest time. At one point, Bryan hit the TDT on Big Show and tries to get the tag on Reigns, but Big Show splashes him. And then Big Show and Kane are getting along and says, "You blew it." And then Big Show tries to hit his move, but Kane tags himself in. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Come on, you shouldn't be taking risks like that. You're not going to hit it." So then Bryan gets him in the S-lock. Big Show breaks it up. Big Show tags himself back in. He's like, "Get out of here. You blew it. You won't get me like that." So then at one point, Bryan puts Big Show in the S-lock. And Big Show before that had taken a cheap shot at Reigns. And Kane breaks it up, and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, you got lucky. That's all he did, got lucky. So then Kane tries to attack Big Show. Big Show knocks out Kane. Reigns spears Big Show, and Bryan hits the flying knee for the win. So I'm not sure if Big Show's face. I hope not. Main reason is because he hasn't even been face for like 2 months. So it just pretty much like the heel turn was a waste of time, but we'll see. But as for SmackDown, I was originally going to come on and say it was a crappy show, because it kind of was. But actually, the Tag Team Turmoil match really made this show. So I'm going to say this was a great show. The stuff with the Ascension, the Tag Team Turmoil match was great in general. Was there anything else good? Yeah, no, that's it. Just the Tag Team Turmoil match. But that took up the entire show, so pretty much. So I liked it. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to subscribe, click down here. And that's pretty much it, guys. See you later.